Watch what's approaching, the supreme moment. Reality striking closer than it seems, don't it? Go ahead, it's for the taking if you want it. If not, the dream dies and you'll be forever haunted. Then confront it.
What's good? Welcome back to another session. Now this guy has finally become available on JP with the exchange of the 5-year anniversary coins. So honestly, it was an instant cop for me. I ended up exchanging 5 copies and just rainbowed out the unit because, again, I'm a little bit of a collector, so I definitely wanted this guy rainbowed out and just see how this unit does on JP. This Yamcha unit really isn't that great. It's actually pretty terrible, but I'm a little bit of a collector, so of course I wanted this guy since it's finally available on JP. I went ahead and got, all 5 copies, like I said, and just rainbowed it. I kind of went with a focus on criticals, not really expecting much out of this unit, so with that being said, let's go ahead and cover the stats as always. But if you enjoyed the content, definitely make sure to like the video. If you're new to the channel, as always, hit the subscribe button. Alright, so this is the free-to-play Super Strength Yamcha unit. Now, this unit did come out on Global on July of 2017 as part of the Global basically losing the World Clash battle, whatever it was called, between JP and the Global version. Basically what happened was JP ended up getting the Badman Vegeta unit, so Global ended up losing on that one and got the Yamcha unit. But because it's available in JP, I went ahead and got it because I wanted both sets. I've got the Vegeta unit rainbowed out as well, so I wanted to get this as a complementary unit in a way. Now for the leader skill, it's all types Ki +2, HP attack and defense, increase to 2000. Super attack will cause supreme damage to enemy, and then the passive skill is Ki +3. Great chance of attack increase of 77%. Now the great chance is an equivalent, I think, of, I think like 75% or something like that. I don't remember the exact percentage for that, but it's a high enough chance to where it'll activate frequently enough. Now in terms of links, it's okay. It's not great, but there are a fair amount of units that do have some of these link skills. Like Z Fighters is 15% to attack. Turtle Skulls, attack increase of 500, defense increase of 500. Speedy Retribution is attack increase of 300. Infighter is attack increase of 10%. Enemies defense minus 10%. And then Rival Duo is also attack increase of 10%. And attacked enemies defense minus 15%. Now this guy does fall into 2 categories, Worthy Rivals and Android Cell Saga. I decided to run this guy on the Android Cell Saga and pretty much link it up with the free-to-play Battlefield Metal exchangeable Krillin unit. The Krillin unit is actually very good. Now in terms of 100% potential stats, you're looking at HP of 9,274, attack is 10,105, and defense is 6,073, 12 Ki Multiplier is 130%. So ultimately this guy is pretty much a big waste of potential orbs, but I merely did it for shits and giggles and add it to the collection. That's really ultimately what it comes down to. I pretty much enjoy these types of units and showcasing them and adding them to the collection as a trophy card. You know what I mean? That's really all that this serves as. So am I going to run this unit on a frequent basis? Most likely not. But it's such a great card because of the backdrop to it, right? Like the card art is a very, very funny scene in the manga and anime. It's right after future Trunks ends up leaving after defeating Mecha Frieza and King Cold, and Goku is basically talking or mentions to Bulma to have a healthy kid or whatever, and then everybody's pretty much puzzled and confused as hell, but Yamcha's like, I guess he means, I need to stop being a player and settle down and have kids or whatever, and starts laughing or whatever. And then the next scene, it's pretty much like Yamcha is like, has that look on his face like, that ain't my kid. You ain't gonna believe whose kid that shit is, But I thought it was a very, very hilarious scene in the manga series. So, with that being said, it's kind of like a nice unit to have as a collection because of how funny it actually was. Yamcha at the end of the day, he did kind of fuck up his relationship with Bulma, but he was a player back then, and he was apparently having plenty of side chicks, side pieces that he was playing the field a little bit. So, at the end of the day, you reap what you sow. So it happened. Everything happens for a reason, right? Because ultimately, if that didn't happen, then Trunks wouldn't exist and whatever. So it all works out at the end of the day, I guess. But, you know, honestly, the 77% does activate frequently enough as part of the passive. And you do notice that this Yamcha Showcase necessarily isn't getting that much support in terms of like passive boost toward attack. Now, Metal Cooler is included on here as kind of a makeshift supporting unit type of floater position, but outside of that, there really aren't that many support units on the team, so it's pretty much the links with Krillin boosting up the attack as much as possible, and then every now and then you'll see the Metal Cooler unit provide that extra support. But outside of that, it's pretty realistic to as how this guy is actually performing in terms of like, I don't know, I wouldn't say standalone unit, but in terms of like pure production outside of, you know, getting extra help from supporting floaters type deal, you know. So with that being said, I guess the unit's doing pretty good. I think around 700k attack stats is where he's at, so that's actually not too bad. I think, you know, on the worthy rivals category, he's probably a little bit better. You could actually, you know, blend in the team with some extra support, I think, but yeah, I mean, he's actually doing pretty decent given the stats and, you know, the how outdated the card itself is. So I guess at the end of the day, it's an okay unit. I wouldn't necessarily recommend you necessarily exchange the unit, you know, 5 copies and end up using the potential orbs on this guy. But again, it's a nice little collection piece. So if you share that kind of passion that I do, it might be worth it. Outside of that, definitely not worth investing the potential orbs. I mean, there's way better ways to not only save your potential orbs, but also use those exchangeable anniversary coins on other things like, you know, actually potential orbs themselves or other units, you know. But again, I really wanted this guy because he's finally available on JP, and that's really what it comes down to, you know what I mean? Shits and giggles, that's all it's about. But, you know, this is Boss Rush 7, so I did have to scale it down a little bit. Initially, I was like, maybe I should test this on the Infinite Dragon Ball history against the, you know, Stage 2, which is the Extreme types. I mean, it'd be appropriate because I'm running an Android Cell Saga team format, but it's probably, the unit's probably not up to that caliber to be able to withstand some of the incoming attacks from the enemies. Again, like even on Boss Rush 7, you're seeing a lot of damage taken from the Yamcha unit, so defense is certainly an issue here. I mean, if you look at the stats, it's only a flat number of, you know, 6,073. You're not getting any sort of defensive boost as part of the passive either. You're straight up just getting a Ki +3, great chance of attack increase to 77%, and that's pretty much it. Now, the 77% is actually a pretty good percentage amount. You do see quite a bit of a difference when it kicks in versus when it doesn't, and honestly, it'll kick in most of the time. There's very few occasions where you won't see that 77% boost, and when you don't, like, you'll see probably the 637,000 attack stats that you just saw drop to like roughly 250k, maybe somewhere around that region, so it will drop quite a bit, but when it doesn't, you know, it's fairly decent amount of attack stats, and, you know, I'm content with what it's producing, honestly. I mean, again, I don't plan on running this unit on a regular basis or anything. It's more or less just adding it to the collection. So, you know, since I did rainbow the unit, I might as well showcase this guy since it's, you know, finally available on JP. So, you know, hopefully you guys are enjoying the video. I told you before that, you know, I'm gonna try and revert back to doing shitty unit showcases, and I think based on the you know, feedback you guys have provided in terms of, you know, what additional content and what more of you'd want to see going into, you know, the year of 2020, it seems like a lot of you guys wanted to see, you know, outdated obscure units rainbowed out and tested as well, you know, so it all works out, I think. Hopefully anyway. But yeah, I mean, ultimately, it's a fun video to do. I always enjoy it. This Yamcha is a pretty hilarious unit, given the backstory of the card itself, and, you know, the demeanor, I guess, of the card art with his face and all that. You know, it's just kind of like, this guy's just completely oblivious to what's about to happen. You know what I mean? Like if he had hindsight, he probably would have done things a little bit differently. Maybe not cheat on Bulma as much, but it is what it is, I guess, at the end of the day. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the video for the 100% potential showcase for the Super Strength free-to-play Yamcha unit. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys later. Alright, peace out.